I invite you to close your eyes. Imagine a world where everyone is listened to. Where you are heard. And your friends are heard. Where we truly listen to one another with empathy. Maybe you know someone who never gets a word in conversations, or doesn't have a place for their feelings and their needs to be heard. Maybe this person is you. Imagine they were heard, and by them being heard, they could identify some of their basement needs and get them met. How does it feel to get your needs met? Please open your eyes. So, I don't know about you, but when I imagine this world, I feel all warm and fuzzy inside, like a marshmallow. So, what do I mean by truly listened to and basement needs? And how can you get your needs heard and met? My listening journey began at age 13 in my first year of secondary education, where I completely ignored all my feelings because, guys don't cry, they're all tough. And I didn't listen to myself at all. There was this little voice in the back of my head saying, you're not enjoying this. The pressure, the lack of emotional support from friends and teachers, and most importantly, the lack of listening. I completely ignored that voice. This continued for 2 years. I became completely numb to all emotions. I told this voice, yeah, but the school is basketball and iPads, so, But then, they took away basketball. Dun, dun, dun! This was the final straw. It was the only reason I was still going to school, the one place I still had fun and still had joy. Once that was taken away from me, I had to get out of there. Luckily, I was privileged enough to move to Ireland's first democratic school, Wicklow Sudbury School. In this school, the students and staff come together twice a week and have an equal vote in how the school is run. And get this, they listen to each other. So whether you just want to change a rule in the school or you're just not feeling good about something, we as a community or one-on-one will listen. So after experiencing this community for about 3 months, I realized how much I hadn't been listening to that voice. I finally turned around and I listened. All the feelings that I'd been holding back came through. Every thought, every emotion that I had suppressed, it all came up. I cried for a solid 15 minutes that Christmas. Till there wasn't any water left in my body to cry. Luckily, I had an incredibly supportive family. No one was like, geez, Finn, you're ruining Christmas. Instead, they were willing to sit around and listen to me rant about the flaws of the education system and the toxic masculinity that I experienced. When I experience this level of truly listening that my family gave me, I feel amazing. I feel seen. I feel heard for where I am and who I am. I feel held in this safe, non-judgmental space. After attending restorative practice and nonviolent communication workshops, I was able to put this language to what I'd been experiencing for the past 2 years and that Christmas. I also learned even more ways in which someone could listen. Even though my mom was amazing at listening, I taught her what I had learned in these workshops, and I asked her to listen to me this way. She was willing to learn, fail, have me give out to her, and then try again. Moms are just wonderful like that. I'd asked her to put what I call the spotlight on me. This is where the person speaking is the center of attention. As a teenager, I love this. It didn't mean she couldn't speak. It just means when she did, it was still about me. This allowed me to truly explore the world around me, and most importantly, myself. I was able to identify some of my basement needs. These are the needs that I find are underneath everything else. So on a surface level, I might be feeling a little annoyed or have a lack of clarity with someone. But I find underneath that, I just have the need for connection with that person. To understand what was going on for them and how they could take my last slice of pizza without asking, Edmund. I found that the most consistent basement needs that I have were food, sleep, and connection. And after identifying these needs, they became so much easier to meet. I would just check in myself. I'd go, okay, yeah, I'm feeling a little annoyed. That's probably because I'm hungry. I'm a little tired as well. So I'd simply just make myself some food and have a nap. Connection was also a big one for me as well. That I find any time I didn't understand someone or they were doing something that I was really annoyed at was always because I just wanted to be connected with that person. And even as simply as I might be feeling lonely. So I just want to hang out with my friends or family. Now that I had been heard, I wanted to listen. I had one experience with a friend. I sat down, and she was expressing something that had happened to her. And after a little while of talking, she stopped. And I sat there, and I listened. And instead of coming in with maybe what I thought about what happened to her, or sharing a similar experience that I had, I just sat there and listened with empathy. So she continued. And this went on for a little while. She'd talk, then stop. I'd sit there listening. So she'd continue. Until she said, you know what? I'm done. I've said everything I need to say. Looking back on this, she said, in that situation, I had never felt so complete. Imagine that. She never had a conversation in which she had said everything she needed to say. There was always something more. She thanked me because she was able to explore that topic much more than she had ever done before. And she entered to what I call the unknown. She wasn't just reciting exactly what had happened to her. She was also saying how she felt about it. And then after saying that, going, actually, no, this is how I feel about it. This is how I feel about it now. And this is how I think I'll feel about it in the future. I'm wondering, what would happen if we listened this way to those most in need? I invite you to close your eyes once more. Imagine this world again. Imagine these pockets of safe, non-judgmental spaces that I've experienced weren't just pockets. They were the world. Imagine because of this, those most in need were able to get their needs heard and met. Imagine you were able to say everything you needed to say. And imagine everyone could truly listen to themselves. Please open your eyes. Welcome to the first day of this world. It all starts with us listening to each other and ourselves. Thank you so much for listening.